What's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now entering the Cinema Chop Shop, so park your ass right there. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the subscribe button. Also, if you check the link below, you see a Patreon account. You click it, you can become a member. All you got to do is try, recommend movies and music and trailers for me to react to. Now, with that being said, we are here today with Malignant review, a 2021 freaking James Wan directed film. I've been waiting to see a James Wan movie for a while. He comes out with this, goes straight to HBO Max, also simultaneously in the movie theaters. I was kind of hyped to see this based off of the trailer. It looked really interesting, and I wanted to see where he was going to go with this. This movie stars Annabelle Wallis, Maddie Hasten. It's a bunch of names that I'm not very familiar with. I'm going to be frankly honest with you. And I mean, the fact that we're not very familiar with their names, even though the main actress, she's been in like Annabelle and she's been in other James Wan films, that's beside the point. She's not like a freaking well-known household name, or she doesn't have that horror bell-ringing name. You know what I'm saying? There's certain names in horror that you hear and you're just like, I know you, and to me, the Annabelle series never was able to produce people that it wasn't liked enough to produce people that I would actually remember their name or remember their face. But like I'm saying about the cast was pretty meh. I mean, like I'm gonna be honest, dude. I think this movie was filled with fucking bad acting. But let's go ahead and get into the synopsis. Synopsis of the movie: there's a young girl named Maddie, I believe. I believe her name is freaking Madison, and she continuously has these damn visions of people being killed. And it turns out that she had, like, there's some sort of, she's able to see it. Like, she's able to see that these people are being killed, and it turns out these people are actually being killed. So they're trying to find out what's this link that she has with these deaths, how is she involved, so on and so forth, right? So the movie's kind of like a horror-infused detective-type movie, which I can dig it. I actually honestly like that aspect of a film. It was really cool that it was a kind of a noir detective who done it type thing, where it was kind of a mystery, a murder mystery type deal. That was a pretty cool aspect infused with the horror, but sometimes it kind of gets you off with the pacing, right? So you have the beginning of the movie that opens up, and you get like major freaking Poltergeist vibes. The way that the scene is set up, the guy walking through the house, and the things that transpire and take place, and you're just like, okay. I can really get I get Poltergeist vibes from it, and it feels like a freaking horror movie. It kind of feels like maybe supernatural element to it, and then it just kind of like switches gears and it goes into like a detective mode, and then it kind of goes into like this slasher silence. It kind of goes into like this weird little Silence of the Lambs type deal, And I mean, like I said, I can dig it. It was pretty cool, but like I said, again, the acting was freaking atrocious. I love the shots that James Wan does. He's really good at his freaking cinematography. The shots and the angles that he has for some of these films are amazing. The way he was using colors, it kind of reminded me of like a freaking Italian horror movie. The way he kind of showcased, he used red in certain scenes and it kind of gave me Suspiria vibes. That was pretty dope. I like the antagonist, the main villain, the evil, the big bad, the final boss, whatever you want to call him. His name's Gabriel. It was mentioned in the trailer. I thought that he was cool, and the one thing that I've always felt like horror characters lack is like original weaponry, and this movie does that department justice because the weapon of choice of Gabriel is pretty dope, and then even the origin of said weapon is also very dope, right? So, this movie too also has a really good soundtrack. Although there was only like one song to me that stood out in one part, but then it was kind of quickly explained because it turned out to be like a song that was playing on the radio. But to me, it still didn't fit the damn scene. Like it didn't fit it at all. Like to me, it kind of stood out. Like I really like every scene, every sound, every score that hit. I felt like it went with the scene. It set the mood. It was kind of like a techno, dark, trancey feel. But then it was just this one song that stood out, and I was like, what the fuck was the point of that, right? We have Comedic Relief, obviously. There's a police officer. I'm not sure about the actress's name, but she looks like a fake-ass Wanda Sykes. Straight up. Like, she is a fake Wanda Sykes. When I saw her, I was like, yo, she looks like Wanda Sykes. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking, like, I hope that she's not the comedic relief in this movie, because if she's the comedic relief in this movie, then I'm going to be kind of upset, because she already looks like Wanda Sykes. So, and yes, she tried to be the comedic relief in the movie, which most of her jokes fell horribly flat. And I just was like, what? I get it. I understand your purpose in this movie, but at the same time, shut up already. You're getting kind of annoying. Like I said, James Wan really knows his way around his cinematography. The angles, everything that he did was pretty cool. CG was kind of lacking in certain departments. Like, I didn't like how one scene went from actual physical people running through a set to a CGI created set of the same scene, and then it jumped back into an actual set. It's super clear and obvious when you do shit like that. It's very obvious, and I don't know why the fuck these directors continue to do this shit, but it's really obvious when you go from one scene to another. Like, you can tell the difference. You can tell by the movement of the character. You can tell. It looks weird. You know what I mean? Let's see what else. Like I said, I felt like it was a really interesting blend of horror, detective, like that kind of mystery aspect. That was pretty cool. Whoever decided on the costume design, they did a really good job. But, as big as but, whoever decided that costume design for the jail scene, and you guys will see what the fuck I'm talking about when you get there. Whoever decided the costume design for the jail scene should get their fucking toe stomped on with a steel toe boot. That was the dumbest fucking choice of costume I've ever seen in my life. What the hell were you thinking? Like, I'm sitting there looking like, yo, these two women are out of place like crazy. Like, and then I'm sitting there watching like, please don't play into like the stereotypical role that I think you're gonna play in. And then, Lord and behold, yeah, they sure did. They played right into that freaking stereotypical blend. But anyway, the costume design for the antagonist though was pretty cool. It's a very basic design, but at the same time, once you get to the end of the movie, you kind of appreciate it a lot more. You'll see what I'm talking about when we get there. But I definitely would love to see a fucking figure of Gabriel be made. That shit'll be dope. Hands down, right? I'm glad that they did something different with the villain. Although, if you watch a lot of horror TV or horror movies and stuff like that, the idea isn't super original, but it's original enough. I've seen something similar to it in American Horror Story. For those of you that have seen Malignant, you will know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. But there was something that I've seen before. I'm glad that this movie expanded on the idea that I saw somewhere else. It's possible that it's probably in other places as well too. But I mean, yeah, I could think of another movie, but I don't want to say it because then it's going to give away the whole damn plot. And even, like, the big reveal, which I'm not going to go into details about, but that was a dope-ass big reveal. I appreciated it more. It honestly makes me want to watch the movie back to see if I can notice things while rewatching the movie. Because after I saw that, I was like, was this person doing this the whole time? Or was that person doing this the whole time? Or what was going on? Well, I know. Now I need to rewatch it. Now I need to watch it again to see if I can see some of these evidence, or did the studio mess up and forget they own big reveals. So I want to go back and I want to watch it, and I want to see if I can catch a couple things. The movie does a good job at trying to answer questions that you might have. I definitely had questions at the end of the movie, but then they did a decent job at trying to answer it. And although, like I said, I feel like it was a stupid fucking answer, I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'll accept it only for the fact that this is a horror movie, and horror movies don't make sense anyway. And the fact that any of this shit would happen is like slim to none. But, I really thought that the explanation for that was really stupid. And then also I noticed another scene at the beginning of the movie where I was like, when I thought back about it, I'm like, okay, maybe that was another reason. Maybe that answered my other question. But like I said, this movie is one of those movies I might have to go and rewatch again. So I might sit back down and watch this movie again. Even though the third act was really cool, really gory, it was a bit predictable. I kind of saw where it was going. There's like, sometimes when movies do this, they back themselves into a corner and there's no other way to go but forward. So you got to go with the most predictable outcome to this movie. And I felt like that was going to be the outcome. Maybe like once the third act started to pick up, once the third act picked up, I'm like, okay, this is probably what's going to happen. And Lord and behold, yes, that's exactly what happened. There was some practical effects in here, but there was also a lot of CGI gore. Like I said, man, I'm not a huge fan of CGI. I respect the people that really respect practical effects, like the team that worked on Terrifier and Terrifier 2. And now I think they're working on a movie called Stream. Those people are very practical effect oriented. And I respect that. I respect that a lot more than the CGI road. I get it. It's cheaper, but at the same time, it's like, go get you a fucking contortionist and have them do that. Go get you a person that does parkour and have them do the scenes. Stop being so fucking cheap. You know what I mean? Like, just stop being so fucking cheap. I get it. You want to cut corners. You want to try to make your profit margin as high as possible. Stop fucking cutting corners, man. Give the people what they want. If you ever want your fucking movie to be considered a fucking cult classic or a modern day classic, you're going to have to spend a little, dude. You're going to have to, like, go back to the roots and go balls deep. You know, it's a fun movie. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I've noticed that either people love this shit or they fucking hate it, you know? And honestly, after the viewing of the movie, the fucking title now makes sense. So here on the Cinema Chop Shop, we grade movies in 3 ways, counted 3 ways. Either you get bodied and sent to the bowels of hell, or I'll tell you your movie was trash, basura, filth, anal crust, all that good shit. Or I'll tell you that your movie was meh, which means it was mas o menos, so-so, mid-range, mid-grade, mid-range jumper, all that shit. Or I can turn around and say, you know, you get spared and your movie's amazing, incredible, heavenly, God sent, all that good stuff. But you know what I mean? I am going to have to go my own route here. And I'm going to give this movie a meh.
Not quite my tempo.
Not impressed.
But it can be better.
Mediocre.
Meh.
But the TV gave me the impression that...
We said meh. M-E-H. Meh.
Yes, you heard it, folks. I'm giving this movie a meh. It's okay. It's not something that I feel like is going to be a modern classic. I wouldn't say that it's horrible. I know that in some areas of this film it drags, especially in the middle part. But that little middle part is needed in order to explain the final act and the big twist and the big reveal. Although James Wan does an amazing job at freaking catching the different cinematic moments and great camera angles, his movies are still riddled with fucking CGI. And I just wish that he would stop that, or any freaking horror director would just stop relying so much on freaking CGI to cut the budget down and stop bullshitting and procrastinating and actually go with practical. You know, or pay freaking people that you need, stuntmen or freaking athletes, to do the shit that you need them to do. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you need a damn contortionist, get you a fucking contortionist. You need you a freaking parkour person, get you a parkour person. Stop being so fucking cheap, man. There's plenty of people at Venice Beach that are bums and shit willing to do this for free. Just kidding. Anyway, so like I said, the movie's okay. I know, like I said, a lot of people either love this shit or hate it. I'm somewhere in between. I think that the villain is dope. I think that the idea is dope. I think that the story overall was pretty cool. It lacks in some departments, especially in the aspect of logic. When you try to apply logic and reasoning to it, it kind of like falls out the window. But at the same time, I thought it was a pretty cool idea, and it was a fun movie to watch. But should it have been almost 2 hours? Hell to the no. But, you know, I'm not the director. I'm not the one that wrote this shit. But, you know, that's me. Let me know if you agree or disagree, whatever the case may be. Drop it in the comment section down below. And you are now exiting the Cinema Chop Shop. I hope you guys are having a magnificent day. And Elvira, over there, says adios, homie.